And when that little child opens that door and you come face to face with him or her, you're gonna see your true self. And if your current self doesn't reflect it, it's gonna hurt, and that's okay. Somewhere deep inside of us is an inner child that still lives. And many of us will never speak to that inner child again because the world makes us grow up and be mature and move on, and we have bills and priorities, and that inner child no longer has a place in our lives. That to me is one of the worst crimes committed against humankind and mankind. Yo, if you could talk to your younger self, what would you say? Like, so many of us are so hard on ourselves and we speak so negatively about who we are in the present moment, but if you could look at yourself as a child, 5 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, what would you say? How would you speak to that child? I learned this technique when I went to therapy for the first time. I was a senior in college and I was having these terrible thoughts about myself. I wasn't suicidal, but I was very indifferent to what happened to me or didn't happen to me. And in our first session, one of the first things we did was she made me look at a picture of myself as a baby. First, she had me talk about myself and how I was feeling in the present moment. And once I looked at the picture of myself as a baby, she said, now speak to the child. And everything shifted. You know, when it came to me talking about me, I was saying, oh, I'm this, I'm not good enough, or I'm struggling with this, or I don't like this about myself, or I messed up here, I made this mistake. When it came time to speak to the child, it's all encouraging, right? It's, yo, you can do anything you put your mind to, man. I believe in you, I love you. Go conquer the world, go be great, go shine. All these positive messages that for some reason I had stopped saying and giving to myself. And so many of us are like that. We get to our older age, and as we grow older and priority starts to get into the picture, most people lose their magic. The world turns gray. No more technicolor, no more vivid imagery, no more beautiful shades of blues and reds and greens and yellows and golds. Nah, just a bunch of gray and black and white, real mundane, real regular. And the sad part about it is our system is designed to make us that way. And we just fall in line generation after generation after generation. It's only those willing to be looked at as crazy or to try something different that nobody's ever done who actually do extraordinary things that nobody's ever done. And this doesn't mean you have to go be some superstar or some mega celebrity, no. But you need to speak to that inner child. There's a reason why I still listen to Disney soundtracks on a regular basis. The messages are extremely powerful for kids and adults alike. But I always want to stay connected to that inner child, man. I keep Dr. Seuss on my walls. My bathroom walls, I have 2 Dr. Seuss pictures. I have a Dr. Seuss picture right here in my studio. Because I always want to stay connected to that younger me when I was so young and hopeful and had these extremely large dreams. And this is all of us. Think about it, man. Think about when you were in kindergarten and somebody came to your class and said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And everybody had these fanciful answers, man. Astronaut, firefighter, right? Policeman, music artist, athlete, chef, archaeologist. So many great ideas. And as you get older, they just get stripped away. You know, you get to like junior year of high school and they're talking about you have to think about applying and what you want to major in. You get to college, they tell you that you have to pick a major that makes money. When I first got to Vanderbilt, I was pre-med for a semester. Not because I ever in my life wanted to be a doctor. Never have I wanted to be a doctor. I've always wanted to go into business and be an entrepreneur. I was pre-med for a semester because it sounded good and because I thought it'd make the people around me happy, my family, and people that were looking at me from my city and my community saying, oh shoot, he's pre-med at Vandy. It makes sense, it sounds beautiful, right? But it wasn't me. It's a big part of the reason why I almost dropped out freshman year. It ruined me. It was bad for me. What dreams will die with us if we don't speak to our inner child and let that little child free? Let that child roam, let that child play. Because one thing I learned is that, yo, when you get older, that younger version of you doesn't just go away. And everything you needed as a child, you still need, man. The child that needed love, needed a hug, needed some more encouragement or guidance or support, needed somebody to say, I believe in you and you can do anything you put your mind to. That little child still exists. Little by little, that child's gonna start cracking open that closet door and peeking out. So the 5-year-old version of you that didn't have a father is gonna start peeking out that closet door that you locked him in. That 10-year-old version of you that felt neglected by their mother or felt like nobody believed in them is gonna start peeking out that closet door. And at some point, that door's gonna swing open and the child's gonna walk out. And you are gonna have to face that child because it doesn't go away. I want you to speak more kindly to yourself. I want you to speak to yourself like that child. You still have a life ahead of you. The world's still yours. It's still possible to do what you want to do and to be what you want to be, but you have to believe it. You have to go. The world is always going to place limits upon your shoulders, man. They're going to tell you how hard everything is or how unlikely things are to happen, and I get it. The odds may be stacked against you, but I'm not really an odds guy. I think if there's a 99% chance of failure and a 1% chance of success, I'll just say forget the 99 and just putting my everything into the 1% and not let the chips fall. I want us to be more like that, be more bold, because there's so much magic and beauty that we should have in the world that we never will, because whoever has the gift has just never shared it. They locked it away, and the years go on, and at some point they wither away. And that's it. One scary realization as we get older is, I know what happens to me. I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, you're great. You've done so much, you've achieved so much, and your 10-year-old self probably can't imagine how far you've made it. But at the same time, you've almost become everything that you hated. You started to walk away from things that you love. You started to acquiesce and to fit into a system, to fit into this box and this mold that you didn't even create yourself. Somebody gave it to you. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to see anybody doing that anymore. There's no way to live, there's no way to exist, there's no way to thrive and flourish. I just want you to give yourself a chance. That inner child, the part of you that needs to play, needs to have fun and enjoy life. It's a big world out there, man. There's so much to do, so much to see and experience. Please take advantage of it, because one day you won't be able to. And if you don't give it your all to this life and let that side of you come back to life, you're gonna leave here with so many hopes and dreams and goals and inventions, books, songs, TV shows, awards. All of that goes with you, and the world's worse off because you weren't your best self. And it doesn't take rocket science to be your best self. Don't think that you have to put this crazy pressure on you and be a perfect person. Nobody's ever gonna be perfect. I just need you to be bold and confident and believe in you, not what people tell you can do or be, not what your past is, not what you've been through, man. Believe in you. One thing everybody should grow to understand is that whatever you believe in, I believe in God, man. I'm God's son. Yo, you were created from the highest power. You are not separate. You are part of the highest power that ever existed. That means something. You should take pride in that. So when you walk around here every day with that knowledge that you are part of the highest power ever, meaning you can look within and find God, man. That's enough to walk around this world like you're supposed to be here, and to be bold and to be confident and to be focused on what you can do to live your best life and to be your best self and give your best, most authentic self to the world. We don't need more cogs. We don't need more cookie cutter molds. We need original shapes. We need trailblazers. We need people willing to fight for their truth and to stand up and say no more of falling into this system, in this box that tries to control us. No. I will not put limits on myself. I don't care what you think about me. Think about all these Disney movies, man. I was just watching Encanto and I watched Turning Red this weekend, and both of those movies had incredible messages. Encanto was talking about Mirabelle and her gift and how she thought she didn't have a gift the entire time, but her gift was truthfully being there for the family, right? And leading and bringing everybody together. She could have ended up like Bruno. Bruno allowed people to tell him that what he was naturally wasn't good enough, that it was a problem because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't what everybody else expected. It didn't look like anybody else's gift. And so he was demonized for it, and he was shunned, and he escaped. And that childhood version of himself that could see the future, he gave up on it. I don't want y'all to ever give up on yourselves, man. And Turning Red, May, she had the red panda inside of her, and they did the ritual for her to get rid of it, and she almost went through with it, and she turned around. She kept the panda because that was who she really was. She felt it, she loved it. And even though her parents and all of her aunties, all of them got rid of theirs and they didn't want her to keep it, she kept it because that was her path, and it made her feel alive. And so what I tend to see with adults, we do so many things that don't make us feel alive anymore. And getting old is not an age thing. It's a lifestyle thing. When you stop doing things that make you feel alive and make you feel young and vivacious, that's when you become old. Aging, it's a beautiful thing, man. Aging is graceful. You're more experienced, you've been through more, you're able to better handle situations and conflict. You've overcome so much, more wise, smarter, more methodical in your approach, more measured in your emotional responses. Aging is a blessing, man. I know a lot of y'all, sometimes you probably look at your age and be like, man, it's too late for me. I'm 28, dog. I promise, I feel the same thing. And I've been feeling this since I was 22, 23. This ain't nothing new, man. I thought I'd have so many different things figured out by now at 28. I don't yet. But that's life. I'm embracing. I'm just living in the moment. I'm just enjoying it because I'm still here and I'm still breathing. And that's enough for me to celebrate. Don't run from the age thing. You can be 30, you can be 40, you can be 50. I don't care. If you still have breath in your lungs, you have enough to fight another day, to be who you truly are. Stop letting the world tell you who you can be. You've done it for too long. And when that little child opens that door and you come face to face with him or her, you're gonna see your true self. And if your current self doesn't reflect it, it's gonna hurt. And that's okay. All I'll ask you is to listen to the child. Follow the child. You've done it your way for too long. The child is led by God, and the child's gonna lead you to the promised land. Remember who you are and never, ever, ever live this world being anything else. I love you all, and Godspeed.